Leave it. It's no use anymore.
But you see, again, going back to what I was saying with all of this, like from a screenwriting standpoint, they need to create an excuse for a relationship between this guy, this dwarf, and Elrond. Remember in the first season, and
Yes, yeah.
to create that, they needed to create tension, obviously, between father and son, between the current king and the king to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for
they
writing,
needed to
for
make it happen for their purposes, but it doesn't necessarily work within the actual story and lore.
yeah.
And that's
They're taking it as a
yeah, that's
literary
license.
liberty
Yeah, and that's where
license. Yeah.
this constantly. But these are big licenses. You know what I mean? A license is usually like, you know, uh, I'm gonna change this aspect or that aspect, or I'm gonna create a new character that affects something. But when you're changing fundamentals of how it works, if the line of Durin is supposed to be that he resurrects himself into the next king, however that is, that would be interesting to see. But that doesn't mean necessarily that you have a father son situation anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no,
You would
because
have
yeah.
either a fatherless son, like, or you would have a situation where one comes to life and he's like, I'm about to die, I'm going to tell you everything I know. I don't know, like, I it's
Right.
but a father son situation, I think it goes against the fundamentals of how that works. So
It is to be given directly to Lord Celebrimbor. He
you know,
must.
like, without you knowing anything, which again I think it's like, I think it's a blessing, because it helps to
Right.
get like a fresh perspective on things
Mm-hmm.
without knowing anything, right? Just this whole thing right now about how, like, Sauron deceived Galadriel, and now everyone's like, oh, your friend was the bad guy all along. Like, what is your impression of the elves based off that Sauron,
I'm
like, was able to uh what's the word, dupe them, you know what I mean, so easily. Like, what's your impression?
um I mean that just makes okay. Like the elves are kind of racist in a Italian way, as we previously stated, right?
Sure.
So
Mm.
you gotta do things as as I want, and because I know best and I know how to enjoy things best, and so you gotta do them as I say,
Right.
okay?
Uh-huh.
But and so they're not really friendly towards outsiders in general.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this random dude came along and was able to dupe them so easily, I think only reinforces that belief already in the elves, and kind of shakes it a little bit, because what do you mean we know best and somebody was able to dupe us like this? How did this happen?
But
You
do
know?
they look stupid?
That's the thing. Like it's a paradox, because if they know best and they know how to approach things in the right way, quote unquote, how could they have been duped so easily by just a random person? You know, it's not, it doesn't really align
That's what I'm
either
right.
one or the
That's what I'm
other.
saying. I mean, in my mind,
Yes.
they just look kind of stupid.
Yeah, they look like they feel superior for no reason, because we weren't given a reason why they have this superiority complex over everything else. We were just told that as a given,
Yeah.
and now we are seeing that it's not the case.
Yeah. I
So,
would say that the best way to describe elves, or like the best way to deceive elves, is their obsession. Like, they're obsessed. Whether it's the rings, whether it's the before that the Silmarils, they're blinded by their obsession for the things that they feel are important. So in that way, it would make sense, you know. But here it just feels like, what do you mean that he? What do you mean that your friend was the bad? Like it looks really bad that Galadriel was friends with this guy, and he turns out to be the guy they were looking for all along, like the guy that they were like the one guy they needed to be wary of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how? No, I don't know. I think it was a bit.
I mean, of course that didn't happen.
Too-
First of all, just full disclosure,
Well,
that didn't happen to
of course.
Galadriel. The real Galadriel wasn't that stupid, but and again, they're trying to create a conflict. They're trying to create drama, and I understand that if this was any other fantasy story. But within the world of Tolkien, like you don't need to create the drama. The drama is there. Why don't you work with the drama that exists instead of trying to create something that doesn't? And that's where I get confused. But I was wondering if to you they just kind of seemed silly and stupid, and
Yeah, again,
or that Sauron,
it's
like, do they look
very-
stupid or does Sauron look that smart? I don't know.
No, I don't. I mean, I think
okay.
Sauron is just a dude.
He's just a dude.
You know, like that so it's very simple how I'm talking about him, but
Yeah,
like I
love
feel
it.
like he's just a dude, and the elves were so lost into their own beliefs that it became silly. Like, oh, we know best, so blah 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 blah. So we know things and they didn't see it coming. So it feels like they were the ones that underestimated everybody else.
Right,
and so
right.
they look stupid.
Right. All right.
But
Be
that's
informed
what
that
that's what it
Halbrand
seems
is
to be.
Sauron.